Hi everyone, Sandman here. This video is brought to you by a donation from both Roger and James, and I thought I'd take their donations to continue my Gone Among MGTOW series. Many of you don't know who Michael Saylor is, but you've heard all about Bitcoin. Saylor runs a company called MicroStrategy and he's never been married, and is about to turn 60 years old now. He's been buying billions and billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin through his company and figured out something called the infinite money glitch. MicroStrategy shares have outperformed Nvidia this year with their gains. And again, most people haven't even heard of him. He's betting his entire personal fortune and corporate treasury on Bitcoin. Do you really think he'd be able to do that if he was married? Women prefer safety and not such insane amounts of financial risk. He found a way to buy almost unlimited amounts of Bitcoin by borrowing money at low interest rates of 1 or 2% and sometimes 0% by selling convertible corporate bonds for his company. The people buying the bonds have the right to convert them if certain conditions are met. For example, the price of MicroStrategy shares reach a certain target price, and then the bonds can be turned into shares. And in case you haven't been looking at the shares, as of scripting this, they were up 3,800% over the last year or two. On the flip side, if you buy Saylor's bonds and Bitcoin collapses, you need a way to protect yourself. So as an investor, your best bet so far has been to short Bitcoin mining stocks. And that's why we've been seeing them doing horribly the last year as Bitcoin has been making all-time highs. Other companies are starting to do the same as Saylor now, issuing bonds, even selling them for negative yield, meaning people have to pay them to take the bonds off their hands, and then pay you, the issuer, interest every single month. So far, every single time Saylor has issued bonds, they've been sold out. He takes the money that people pay him in bonds, tens of billions of dollars, and buys Bitcoin with it. $200,000 a year for the next 4 or 5 years if the price stays where it is, which it won't. By continuously buying Bitcoin, eventually he's going to deplete the supply at the OTC desks, or over the counter. That's the place big buyers can buy Bitcoin in large amounts without bidding up the price on the open market. Then the only way to get more is to go out into that open market and bid up the price over and over again. That causes the price to explode exponentially higher. So how did I figure this out? Well, I've been investing for Bitcoins for 5 years now, and have been following Michael Saylor for about 4. In early November, I bought some MicroStrategy shares at around $258, and 2 weeks later they were at $500, and they went parabolic. My intention wasn't to double my money in only 2 weeks. The only reason I bought them was because I needed to hedge against some government bond positions that I bought for income. I took profit because I had achieved my goal, but I was curious why the price hadn't gone up, what other people had seen that I hadn't, and that's when I understood the glitch that Saylor had discovered and what he's going for. He's going to keep buying Bitcoin until there's a supply shock, and he's going to pump his Bitcoin bags and stock to the moon. The day after I sold my shares for double the profit is the day it finally clicked why the price went up, and I felt seller's remorse, because Saylor was playing chess while everybody else was playing checkers. Some people freaked out because suddenly his company MicroStrategy made it into the top 100 companies in the United States Stock Exchange. The day after I sold, a company called Citron decided that they were going to short MicroStrategy, and it fell roughly $150 per share. Not since the Hunt brothers tried to corner the silver market back in the 1980s have I seen anything like this. The Hunt brothers drove the price of silver up from $6 an ounce all the way to $50, but they failed, partially because silver is not a finite asset. As the price of silver rises, more supply is brought to the market because deposits that are in the ground that didn't make sense to mine at lower costs are economically feasible at higher prices. Michael Saylor is trying to create a supply shock with a finite asset using other people's money, making them wealthy for buying his bonds. He's using the system's own greed to destroy itself. As I'm scripting this on November 21st, and I'm releasing it more than a month later, I don't know what could have happened by now. I don't know if the United States is going to start buying 200,000 Bitcoins a year for the next 5 years to get to 1 million Bitcoin. I don't know if dozens of other companies are now doing what Michael Saylor is doing. I just know that I would do exactly what he's doing. He bought something and now he's using other people's money to pump his own bags. Last week he bought another 50,000 Bitcoin. That takes him to more than double the annual Bitcoin that's created. Don't be surprised if Bitcoin starts getting past 150 and 200,000 and then goes parabolic towards 500,000. Steve over at CryptoQ University has been right with his calls in the past with regards to the top and the bottom of the Bitcoin bull runs. We're in phase 4, which according to him takes us to a $178,000 top. But if we blow past that, then the top of phase 5, if we get there based on the Fibonacci sequence, is basically 550,000. If governments start buying it, we'll get there easily. If we blow past 550, then we're in uncharted territory. I plan on selling at 170 to 180. And if we get to 200 or 220,000 in phase 5, then I'll buy it back. I'll do the same and sell at 550, and then if we get to 600,000, I'll buy it back once more. And after that, I don't know what I'm going to do. Then it's time to take some trips for a while before working on my lover bots and starting fathers going their own way by doing surrogacy after living for myself for a couple years. I already have a high-risk investment strategy and won't be buying MicroStrategy shares again, even though it's mighty tempting. As for Michael Saylor, he deserves the title of a god among MGTOW. That's because he's put us on the path where we get off of being slaves to the fiat money supply. The US dollar has been disconnected from gold for the last 50 years thanks to Richard Nixon. Right now, with the price of Bitcoin just under $100,000, that means that most people with a net worth of $1 or $2 million can't even buy it, because they usually have money tied up in property and other assets. Soon it'll be an asset for only ultra-high net worth individuals. And many people I speak to about it in real life don't even understand that they can actually buy a small fraction of one. You don't need to have a whole coin. Their pride is preventing them from buying less than one Bitcoin because many see themselves as a failure. Would I be buying here at these prices? Probably not. I bought a long time ago and most likely we're 4 to 12 months away from the top. Not financial advice, obviously. But Saylor will keep buying, and if the US government joins the party, then selling it might be a very stupid thing to do. I'll have to get more information as things play out. But even if we don't get into phase 5, I'm still happy and hitting all my targets. As for Saylor, he clearly understands investing, and from all the young women we see are with him, and the fact that he's not married, he probably understands it's cheaper to rent than to buy one. He was only worth $1.6 billion in 2013. Now he's probably worth over $10 billion, and in the past he was worth $6 billion during the dot-com boom. If he keeps growing, he's going to be the wealthiest man going his own way in the world. I haven't made any more videos on this series for years, because I haven't found anyone worthy of making a video about that's actually working to help improve the lives of men. He says it's going up to 13 million a coin in 20 years. I guess we'll have to wait and see. For those of you wondering why Bitcoin hasn't collapsed to zero, it's because money is a religion. And Bitcoin is like going to a church where the church actually pays you to be there. And every 4 years the church pays out a lot, but you have to pay the price of admission. The people that are late to church end up seeing their ticket price fall, and they sit and wait at the church for the next 4 years to finally get their money back and then some. But most get frustrated and leave, and that's the time to buy up their tickets for cheap. Money typically moves from impatient hands to patient hands. If you want to know more about Saylor, then watch his talks with Robert Breedlove on the What Is Money show. When I listened to that, I realized that he was an absolute genius. I also think he never settled down with a woman because he looks like he's always had women throwing themselves at him. He's had plenty of options. Obviously, his hair is gray now and he's older, but he sure looks like he had fun in his time. And now he's worth $10 billion, and the price of Bitcoin is eventually going to be worth $13 million if he projects it that way, and that would make him the world's first trillionaire, MGTOW trillionaire. Maybe he could even beat Elon Musk that milestone. Besides being a religion, Bitcoin is also a whole new asset class. For those of you that think it has no value because technically it doesn't exist, you're wrong. It's property rights in cyberspace. And if you own your own keys on a hard wallet, it's basically unconfiscatable if no one knows you have it. In a crazy world where governments try and tax you to death, it makes sense. If all goes according to plan in the next 6 to 12 months, and the price goes to where I need it, I'll probably spend 6 months giving it my best to make a virtual sex system a reality. If I fail, then I'll go and have kids through surrogacy, and I'll start the fathers going their own way movements. But that's a topic for another day. Anyways, that's it for today. Thanks to Roger and James for the donations, and I hope you enjoyed this topic. Don't forget to smash the like button the way that Michael Saylor was probably smashing all the hotties in the thumbnail, except for that one fatty. She was forced to sit in the cuck chair. Bang the bell and check out the mystery link. Follow me on BitChute, Twitter, and Facebook to get tomorrow's video today. Subscribe to me on Minds, Odyssey, MGTOW.tv, and Rumble to get the video for the day after tomorrow. This channel's been demonetized, and if you want to help me keep making content, then please support me through Subscribestar. There's a link to it in the description. Or you can do an hour-long coaching chat with the Sandman for $45 US, and I won't rush out the door like a cheap whore. Thanks for taking your daily dose of red pills, and remember, A red pill a day keeps the people that think that Bitcoin is a scam and that we should just use paper money that loses 10% of its value each year to store our wealth away. So enjoy the rest of your day and cheers.